Are you wondering what's the latest Indonesian travel requirements this April 2023? Or would like to know the answers for the frequently asked questions? You want to know the best visa option for you? Don't worry, because this video is dedicated to answer all of these questions. Hi, I am DM, a traveler, vlogger, and a YouTuber. The vlogs on my channel are all about travel, food, and lifestyle. Lifestyle of Filipina millennial like me. If you're new to my channel, I usually upload travel info updates or travel requirements of different Asian countries such as Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, South Korea, and others. So if you're into this kind of content, I hope you can tap the subscribe button now for you to be updated with my most recent upload. For today's video, I decided to create a content related to Indonesia, particularly Indonesian travel requirements for vaccinated and partially vaccinated tourists around the globe. All of the information that I'm going to share with you right now are all based in these three government sites. The first one is the official website of the Indonesian Embassy here in the Philippines. The second one is the Ireland's Department of Foreign Affairs website, and the third one is the Smart Traveler government website of Australia. Now, I highly recommend you to check out these websites as well, or other government websites, to be more updated with the Indonesian travel requirements. And if you're ready, let's get started. The first travel requirement is, of course, you need to present your original passport. And your passport must be an ordinary passport with at least 6 months validity from the date you plan to enter Indonesia. I also recommend you to have at least 6 months passport validity from the date you plan to leave Indonesia as well. You need to be reminded that your passport must have at least 2 pages. Otherwise, Indonesian officials or immigration officials might refuse you to enter their country. The third travel requirement is proof of vaccination. You are required to show a proof or certificate of a complete dose, either a second dose or a third dose, or also known as a booster shot of COVID-19 vaccination, at least 14 days before your departure. Now, for those who have only received single dose of vaccine, or you're under the category of partially vaccinated, then you are required to undergo quarantine upon your arrival in Indonesia, and all of the cost will be shouldered by you. If you're coming from Europe and your country is part of the European Union, the European Union Digital COVID Certificate is actually accepted as a proof of vaccination for entry into Indonesia. Please know that COVID-19 regulations on travel from abroad and within Indonesia are frequently changed, often at a short notice. So I highly recommend you, as a traveler or as a tourist going to Indonesia, to check the latest regulations with your respective airline and or, of course, with your local Indonesian embassy near your location before your departure. The fourth one is all about your onward, return, or round-trip ticket. Officially, you are required to have a proof of your onward flight. However, this is rarely requested to be seen by immigration officials. But of course, as a caution, please prepare a proof of onward, round-trip, or a return ticket. And last but not the least, under the category of travel requirements, you need to fill in the electronic custom declaration form. This form, or the ECD, can be accessed and submitted 2 to 3 days prior your arrival in Indonesia. Easy as that. We're done with the travel requirements, and now let's move on to the types of visa. The first type of visa is the visit visa exemption. If your country is part of the Association of Southeast Asian Nation, or ASEAN, then you may be able to avail this kind of visa type. You don't need to pay any visa fee at all upon your arrival in Indonesia. Although, you cannot extend your stay. The maximum stay that you can do in Indonesia is up until 15 to 30 days only. Now, visit visa exemption can be used for tourism purposes, business meetings, attending conferences, transit, purchasing goods, and official visit of a government employee. The next visa type is the Visa on Arrival or VOA. Now, tourists can apply for an Indonesian visa on arrival, which is valid for 30 days at a cost of 500,000 Indonesian rupee or more or less 35 US dollars. Now, the visa on arrival can be extended once by an additional 30 days maximum by applying to a local Indonesian immigration office. Travelers should extend their visa within the initial 30 days to avoid a visa overstay fine. If you're a citizen of an ASEAN country, you may also avail visa on arrival if and only if you intend to extend your stay after 30 days in Indonesia. If not, I highly recommend you to opt for the visa number 1, which is the visit visa exemption, so that you don't need to pay any visa at all. If you're part of a European country or a citizen of a developed country, then you may be able to use or opt visa on arrival. The third option for you guys is the electronic visa or e-visa. Now, tourists or travelers going to Indonesia can apply for an electronic visa on arrival, and the VOA is a single entry visa which is valid for 30 days stay in Indonesia with, of course, the purpose of tourism, business meetings, goods purchasing, transit, or pre-investment. Now, holders of travel documents other than the passport are not eligible to apply for the EVOA. There are actually 87 countries eligible to apply for this option, which is the electronic visa. So just go and visit the Indonesian embassy or consulate website in your location and check if your country or the country that you're part of is actually included in here. For you to avail the electronic visa, you need to visit the www.molina.imigracy.go.id. If you successfully submitted and your visa was approved, this is a good example of your visa documentation that you need to present upon your arrival in Indonesia. The last visa option is the visa obtained in embassy or consulates in your location. You may need to apply for a visa in advance, of course, to enter Indonesia for purposes not covered by the electronic visa upon arrival or the visa upon arrival option. Please check the latest entry requirements with your travel provider or an embassy or consulate of Indonesia in your location before you travel, because entry, exit, and transit conditions can change at a very short notice. If you reach this point, I guess it is the right time for you to subscribe to my channel already. If you're done tapping the subscribe button, let's now move on and talk about the frequently asked questions. The first question is that, do I still need to present a pre-departure negative result of RT-PCR or antigen test? The answer for that is no. You are no longer required to show a pre-departure negative result of your RT-PCR or antigen test. The next most frequently asked question is that, do I still need to buy a health insurance or present a health insurance upon my arrival in Indonesia? The answer for that is no. You are no longer required to show the proof of ownership of a health insurance. Please be reminded as well that further vaccination and booster requirements apply for children aged between 6 to 17 years old. And domestic flights in Indonesia actually require proof of 3 vaccination shots. Now, there are instances that airline staff will definitely ask you to show your 3 shots of vaccination. So be sure to comply to avoid travel complications. Now, the next question is that, do I need to download the COVID-19 Satu Sehat app? The answer for that is both yes and no. On arrival, local authorities and travel providers may require you to use Indonesian COVID-19 Satu Sehat app, but sometimes there are cases that local authorities don't actually require you. So just to be safe, there's no harm if you already downloaded that specific app. And before I let you go, let me remind you to check the recent announcement from the nearest local Indonesian embassy or consulate near your location, as travel requirements may change at a very short notice. With that, if this video is helpful to you, I hope you can tap the subscribe button now, and thank you for watching my video. See you in my next one. Bye!